Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here at Chit Chat with Char, where our mission is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate. Today, I have the pleasure and the honor of chatting today with Miss Daphne Anderson, and she is the founder of Always Assisting You and a Motivating Love. Without further ado, Miss Daphne, come on down. Let's talk.
Hello, hello.
Hey, good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
So let's talk about, tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever it is that you would like to share. Tell us about
Ooh,
yourself.
a little bit about me. I'm a little bit of this, I'm a little bit of that, and I'm a whole lot of mess.
Uh oh.
Yes, but I'm a good, fun mess. So I'm Daphne Anderson. I am married. Sorry, everybody. I'm also a mother of three and a godmother to five. So I kind of have eight. Oh, and my puppy girl. So I have
Okay.
four.
Okay.
Um, Other than that, I'm originally from New York, so you may hear the accent come in and out, depending on if you've upset me or not. And then I've moved to Texas many moons ago
Okay.
because I had no choice. And then I fell in love with this beautiful, handsome chocolate drop of a man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm really trying to sell it, right? And then we're still together, we're still standing, and that's been almost 19 years. And then been through the trials and tribulations of corporate America, drama, hit this, that, and all the rest. Went into business for myself because God said so, and been rocking it ever since. Thank goodness. And I'm me. I am what you see. I am what you get, and that's it.
I
And then some
love it.
more.
I love it. I love it. I love your hair, by the way. It's so sleek and you have the perfect face for it.
Thank you,
There
darling.
you
Thank you.
go. So we talked a little bit about you being in corporate. We talked about the whole mess of the corporate world. Tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about your journey from corporate to where you are now with your company.
Okay, so you know how they always say when you go on a job interview, you never talk negative about your past employers because it doesn't look
Absolutely.
right and all that jazz. Well, me being in HR, I'm going to take that advice to myself and try not to talk and or look negative. However, I was working in corporate America and my sons got sick and they're 4 years apart. And at this time it was 2014,
Hmm.
so some moons ago. And
Feels like it anyway.
oh, definitely. And they that was back when strep was real rampant.
Okay.
Just to give some context, so they had strep. One had strep, the other one had strep. There was no way around it. And then so I was at home basically 2 weeks with them, trying to get them well, better, and not contaminated again. And then it was like I was the lead admin for the church, secretary women's group. I was the lead admin for the church children's ministry. And then I had some friends that knew that I could type and do all that type of stuff and help with resumes and blah, blah, blah. And so in doing all that, it kind of got dropped in me that, okay, well, you need to do this full time, not knowing that there was actually an industry that does this, you know. And then I was like, okay, well, if I do this as a business, what would my name be? And the youngest child, Lord help him, he was like, well, mama, you always assisting people. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not cute. Well, you're always assisting you. Oh, okay, you got something there. Now, mind you, that little hustler still reminds me to this day, he requires his residual income
Oh
because of the
wow. For
name
the
of the
name.
company.
Yeah. You taught him well.
I mean, apparently too well, because I mean, you still want coins?
Yes.
Dude, I'm gonna need you to lay back some. I gave you life. Give me a
Yeah.
break.
And that for that you can never be repaid.
Oh my goodness. Tell my stretch marks that. Never.
Yes. Exactly.
Um, so that's how the company came. I still worked a little bit of corporate America in the beginning, transitioning up or whatever the case.
Hmm.
And I've always kept the business and I've always had clients. So that's a blessing for me. I've even had it to the point where I've been able to work corporate and keep the business. But
Okay.
now it's just mostly the business.
I
And
love
I'm
it.
loving it.
I love it. Okay. So we're talking about the business.
Okay.
Let's talk about exactly what Always Assisting You is. Give us your elevator speech, if you will, about your company.
And so I'll be real honest, I don't have an elevator speech,
That's all right.
mainly because I can never tell you just one thing that we do. Um, Off the cuff, and just my cuff is so different, but anywho, we assist in human resources, we assist in recruiting, we assist in payroll, business management, and then at the same token, we also assist in business transitioning. For those that are in the corporate America world trying to be an entrepreneur, and then vice versa. Sometimes you need someone to walk that walk with you and hold your hand for that first year or so, and you don't want to do it alone. You want to go to networking events, you want to do this, you want to do that, but you're too afraid to do it alone, and or somebody that was supposed to go with you just can't. So sometimes you need a professional to go with you, make those connections, do that schmoozing and stuff like that. And that's part of what we do as well. When we first started, we were virtual assistants.
Okay.
I say we, but it was me then, but we were virtual assistants. So when you don't have that space in your office, whether you're a small business or a individual business,
Mm-hmm.
I would help you virtually, remotely before COVID. Wow. And work that way with you. And then in doing so, I'm not more of a task person. I see the bigger picture far into the future. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I work. And then I let it be to where I'm handling your business for you so you don't have to. And you go do what it is that you do, whether it's sell homes, whether it's interior decorating, you need to get clients, or whether you're a graphic artist and you need to bring people in that way. Whatever the case is that you do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm behind the scenes handling that part. And then I start handling your team, which makes me your business manager.
Got it. Got it.
So that's
I
where we
love
started.
it. I love it. There is such a need for companies like yours. And it's amazing that you were already working this virtual space well before COVID hit. And I think with COVID, that's one of the things that we were able to really capitalize on is being virtual and having virtual meetings and still being very productive.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out to you and commend you
Thank
for
you.
being ahead. And I guess that's that future and forward thinking that you've been able to do, which lend very nicely to your company.
Yes. Yes.
So, so you said homeowner or realtors. You talked about graphic designers. What other companies or clients do you have? Without giving names, you don't have to give names.
Oh my goodness. So we've worked with magazine owners, we've worked with creative content writers, we've worked with therapists, counselors, hairstylists.
Nice.
Um, Trying to think everything. Actually, we've worked in um, the remote world of recruiters
Okay.
to try to help them as well. Because as recruiters, and I believe you were in HR at One Life as
Yes.
well. So
Yes.
then you already know a
I know.
recruiter has a slew of resumes that they got to go through, and you only have like 8 to 10 hours to do so.
Right.
And that's just for one rec.
Right.
Not imagine a whole bunch of different recs that they have to
Right.
go through. So
Right.
we've done that. We've worked in the skincare, esthetician world, clothing. We've kind of dippled and dappled in everything. And that's one of the other reasons why I don't want a niche or
Yes.
niche, whichever the way the world is, just because I like meeting different people.
Right.
And as long as I don't put myself in a box, you can't put me in a box.
That's right.
I'm 5'8". I'm not going in a box. It just don't work for me.
That would have to be a big box, right? A tall box anyway,
Yeah.
right?
And it just don't work. I don't pay attention. I don't do what needs to be done the right way, the way that you want it to be done. I have to do things my way.
Okay.
And the best way for me to be me is to let me be me.
Right.
So you can't put baby in a box. No.
I love it. I love it. And I like how you talk about being you, and being creative and being able to, just forward think. And I think when you work in a corporate environment, there is some limitations there as
Mhm.
far as where you can be creative and how you can bring some of your ideas to the forefront because your vision may not be the corporate office's vision, but it may
True.
work for you. So, has that been one of the main reasons for you going off on your own into entrepreneurship?
Honestly, no, it hasn't. But what I can tell you that has, and one of the reasons why I try to stay within my own is people don't want you to outshine them.
Mm,
And management sometimes can get real fickle, if we will,
yeah,
if you try to do your job too well to where it makes it seem like, well, what is management doing? If
yeah,
you're doing this, and this, then why do we need management? Because you're handling their job and yours.
yeah.
And then for myself personally, and just me, I can say that in this is it's always been a man
Okay.
in my into kindly like that. And so they want to push me down.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like falling. It hurts. No.
And it's so funny that you bring that up because I know when I was in corporate, I've been blessed to have some really, really, really good jobs
Mhm.
and good managers. But there have been instances in my career, in my corporate career especially, where I feel like I've had to dumb myself down
Mhm.
just not to cause any waves or to make anybody feel inferior or intimidated, because I am such a dreamer and I am creative, and that may come across sometimes to some people as doing too much,
Yes,
you know.
I
But that's
do.
just who I am, and so I've been in instances like that, and I think for me, that was one of the main reasons for me going off and being an entrepreneur on my own as well. Is because I want the flexibility. I want to be creative. I
Mhm.
want to wake up every single day and love what I do. I don't want there to
Yes,
be any regrets. Life is just so short,
very.
right? And then to your point, about having to be away with your children when they were sick, that's another thing that being in corporate or working for someone, you don't have that flexibility, and family is important.
I know when the boys were sick then, my husband, he's great. He held it down, he's always been the primary breadwinner and such of that nature, and I love him for it. But when the kids get sick,
Yeah.
it's kind of looked at, okay, mom, you about to come out. So yeah, one of my hashtags when they're sick is nurse mom.
Yes.
And then so when the boys are sick, it's kind of that automatic that I'm going to be up with them, and that's fine. That's
Right.
the role I chose because my husband then has to go to work, so he needs his rest, blah blah blah. But then at the same token, it's like, okay, I can't always do what I need to be done that needs to be done in corporate America. So me bringing an extra income this way, it's been great too, because I
Right.
don't have to say, hey, I can't come in today. The most I may have to do is tell a client, I'm sorry, I've got a sick child. I may not work as much today, but
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Right.
And then the boys realize what's going on and what mommy's doing. So they're like, okay, I got one on one side, one on the other, and the laptop in the middle, and I'm working. As
Yeah.
long as they have that touch of me and the movie's going, then they're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
it works out. It works out for us. And I do realize that a lot of people don't have what I have, or they don't have what you have and the capabilities.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to make it do what it do for you.
Right. Right. One of the things that Lyndon, our producer, mentioned before we went on stage is, or on stage or online, is he talked about, editing
Mhm.
ourselves to, fit the mold for whatever the situation is. And I think that to a certain extent, we have to be able to fit in different rooms and to be able to sit at different tables and add value, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Um, I just think that editing our so we have to be authentic, right? We have to be authentically ourselves, but we also have to have the ability to move and go in and out of different spaces and still add value. What are your thoughts about that?
You've got to be able to be free at some point, whether you're in corporate America or entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though you've got to be free. If you are closed in a box, or if you're stuck in a cubicle and you've got to follow this ABC 1 2 3 rule, then when you finally do get out into the world and you go buck wild because you don't know anything else, that's
Yeah.
going to hurt you.
Yes.
You
That's
know,
right.
it's similar to way back in the day, and I won't date myself totally, but way back then when we had actual phones in the house, landlines.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That seems
And
like forever ago, right?
yes, but you had those kids and those friends then that they couldn't go out the house. They couldn't go to the parties, or they had to wear skirts, they couldn't wear jeans, or whatever the case. And then when they grew up and they got out, and then they started realizing, oh my goodness, there's such a different world out there. I
Yes.
feel as though you have to have a little bit of that give and take, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, to kind of mesh and mold yourself, so that way
Yeah.
when you are free enough, you're out there.
Right, right. Taylor Mosley, a viewer, had a question for you.
Okay.
The question is, what would you say makes AAU the entity it is today?
Um, what makes AAU the entity we are today? Being free,
You just spoke on that. Yeah.
being free, and being yourself. So another hashtag that I use is I love being me.
Mm-hmm.
And be you, do you, be happy.
Yes.
I never want any of my contractors and or staff to feel as though they can't be free. They can't communicate with me. They can't talk to me. That they can't share their ideas and I not actively listen
Yeah.
and or us try it out.
Right.
Um, so for myself, I take that same advice, and I want AAU to always be something that you can count on. I want it to be dependable. I want it to be professional, but I want it to be fun, and I want you to do you and be happy.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
starting off where I started off as a virtual assistant, and then growing to the business management world and adding back in my HR skills and my payroll skills, because I've got those skills. I'm
Yes.
gifted in that area. I'm gifted in administration. So let me put it all together in a package and let me offer that to people. I
Yes.
want AAU to always be an entity of availability. Our youngest contractor is 14, and he started
Nice.
making graphics. It's that
Nice.
same little hustler that I birthed
Yes.
back then, but
Yes.
he's into the company now, and he's doing graphics and he's
I love
enjoying it.
I love it.
So I always want AAU to be available, and I want it to be helpful to people
Right.
in various ways, which is also again why we don't niche.
Right. Well, I love it. And I think, I sometimes as entrepreneurs we jump in head first and we don't think about the back part of it, or the background, all the work that needs to happen behind the scenes.
Oh my
You
goodness.
know, one of the things that I always tell Lyndon, and I know he's probably sick of hearing me say it, but one of the things that has helped me to be successful with our podcast is the fact that he handles all of the things in the background.
Okay.
I literally can just show up and have full confidence and trust that, and knowing that he's going to work everything out in the background. So I really, really love that. Are you able to see Taylor's
I am.
comment? Okay, perfect.
Char,
Perfect.
I'll never get tired of hearing that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you are welcome. You're
Oh.
welcome. And it's things like that when you understand. I think as an entrepreneur, I understand that the way that I'm going to be successful with anything that I do is I have to bring people with me and I have to delegate. I
Mhm.
don't need to touch everything, and I'm okay with that. And I'm learning to be okay with that. How about that? So
Yes.
what
Part of the
about you?
collaboration, though, that's part of collaboration. You connect, you collaborate, and then you cultivate. I mean, I wanted to steal those three words from you since I first saw them because it epitomizes everything that everybody should be doing. That's
Right,
how you grow and grow a business.
right. Right, right. What about you, Daphne? As far as we've talked about being free and and having unlimited potential, as Taylor says. What's next for AAU?
Ooh, next for AAU is a good question. And I honestly, I don't know. The one thing that I have noticed is that my timing is not as his timing. And so what I may feel as though I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, yeah, no, not right now. Back it up some, sit down, not yet.
Yeah.
I think AAU will have some big additions coming within the next 2 years when we turn 10.
Nice.
But for right now, I think we are just going to kind of stay in this small, medium space that we're at.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, we have space for additional clients. So I think we're going to continue to grow. We have 2 additional executive administrations on the team. So we have the work available. And like I said, with the graphics, we've got that. So we dibble and dabble a little bit in social media management again.
Okay.
And I think we're going to bring back some of our event management pieces.
Ooh. Okay.
But other than that, I'm not quite sure yet where we're going. Again, I can write it down and say what I want to do,
That's right.
but the people that he may bring into my life or into the business may take it somewhere else that I didn't even see, or I was kind of shy to go into because I didn't have the right people with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You touch on something that I think is very important that we always have to keep in mind, that his timing is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He'll put you in the right place with the right people at the right time. And we just have to be okay with that sometimes.
Yes, you have to be ready, so stay ready.
That's right. That's right. So tell us about a client of yours, without disclosing names or anything,
Mm-hmm.
that you have loved that project working with them.
Mm. Oh, I don't cry, but okay. So I had a client. She was absolutely amazing, and she just let me be me. She gave me, who the team was that she had on board. I introduced myself to them. I set up meetings. I set up Zoom meetings so that we could all get to know each other. I set up one-on-ones. We did bi-weekly check-ins. I had my meetings with the client herself, so she could do what she does. She actually left the country for 2 months, and I was her only point of contact, and I handled the rest of the team behind me. And it really worked well because we were able to communicate. We were able to lay out a strategy plan of how she wanted things to be done, what she needed done. And then I did me, and if you know me, it's to love me, but I take charge. I tell you what to do, and you need to do it. If you don't do it, I may give you a little grace here and there. But at the end of the day, if you're a part of the team, then you need to be a part of the team, and you're going to be held accountable. But I also communicate with you, which I'm so big and huge on, because I can't read your mind. I may try. I may do the whole,
Yeah.
but I can't read your mind,
Right.
So you've got to be able to talk to me. I may seem very, very rough on the outside of the exterior, and I am on the inside, but at the same token, I do listen. I do want to hear what you have to say because it's important. And you
Right.
may have an idea in your mind of how things can flow that I've not heard of, which entail is what one of the people did. And I took that back to the client. She was like, oh, I've been thinking about that for a while. So let's go ahead and put it into place. Great. That works,
Right. Right.
So.
It's a little bit of give and take. You mentioned accountability,
Okay.
and I think that sometimes we don't want accountability, especially when
Right.
it's something that you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you're afraid. Having someone like you, or having an organization like you, would definitely help, because I know, for me personally, I can only speak personally. When we were launching the podcast, I hesitated. I really did. I had all these thoughts and, questions and limiting beliefs about what I could do in
Mm-hmm.
this space. And our producer, Lyndon, he called me a couple times a week. where are we at with this? What are we doing? Like, and he was my accountability partner to
Okay.
really get it going. And I just had to stop and think that, okay, if he's pushing me in this manner, then he must see something that I don't. So let me just trust him and go with it. And I can tell you that this is one of the things that I love, love, love doing. I really love this space. It's fun for me. It's not a job. I really enjoy just being able to talk and learn about different people. And I
Mhm.
have talked to some amazing people over the last several months, and I just feel really blessed in that. So accountability is huge,
It is.
and having those partners and people that you can trust to communicate in a way that you know it's not being hurtful or harmful, but it's for the greater good.
Mhm.
So, have you had any in your business? What would you say as far as trying to launch? And you said you mentioned 10 years. That's amazing, and congratulations to you. What have been some of the hardships for you in your 10 years and your company?
Ooh. 10 years there, I pray. We're about to hit 8 years in April.
Okay.
But some of the hardships, clientele, marketing, people not really understanding what it is that you do. And
Yes.
then I think a lot of it also is just the fact that some people are scared to let go, to let someone in their space, in their business, and let them do what it is that we do. Um, Managing your business and taking over it is not as scary as it should sound. I'm more of your right hand or your partner,
Okay.
for the aspect of I'm not here to take over your business. I don't want to take over your business. I have enough going on, but I do want to be where you can be successful and you can grow. And if that
Mhm.
means that I need to take on some of that headache from you in the administration world or the management world or the payroll or whatever in the background so that you can shine bright as a star in the beginning and in the front, then let me do that. This is where I work best. This is
That's
what I do. I can do this most likely and in most times with my eyes closed. Um, but some people just have that fear of letting go, and or they don't know what it is that they need to let go of. And that's why we do that
mm,
strategy plan with you up front so that you know what it is that we can do and how we can help you so that way you can go out and do what it is that you do.
that's awesome. I know there are so many entrepreneurs out there who want to do it all because
Yes.
they feel like they need to. Um,
Mhm.
just because you don't know, like that was a perfect segue. You don't know what to let go of until you have a conversation with a professional like you who's experienced, and you know what to ask. You know how to lay it out in a way that's like, oh, well, actually, I don't want to have to be in charge of that. Yes,
Mhm.
please take that for me so that I could do what I love to do. So, you talked about your kiddos being involved,
Mhm.
and how has that worked with your family? You've been an entrepreneur, wearing a lot of hats in your bio. There, I mean, so many things that you do and you're a part of. So let's talk about the family aspect of it.
Okay.
How have you been able to balance what you're trying to do as an entrepreneur? Because we work more as an entrepreneur,
Oh yeah.
in balancing your husband, your marriage, your kids, all of the godchildren that you have, your pet. How have you been able to balance all of that?
Um, it just happens. Honestly, I get in this what my kids say they she just flipped that switch. Um, so in my previous heydays before always assisting you, I was a wedding and event planner.
Hmm.
And so I walked around with a clipboard. And even to this day, you can always find me with a pen and a paper and maybe a calendar in my hand. I'm always writing something down. So when I have that, they're like, okay, she's about to do something. And either they scatter or that little one, he'll ask, like, so who's the new client or where are we going? What are we doing? And I'll tell them. And if it intrigues them, then they're like, okay, so what do you need? So the oldest is a girl.
Okay.
And she's actually a part of the company as well. She helps manage one of the clients with me.
Nice.
Then the next two are boys. And the oldest boy, he's the muscle.
Okay.
He's the protector. He's the driver. Okay. So he drives to the different events or the meetings with the clients in that aspect. So that's his way of being involved in it.
Got it.
And then the baby boy, well, he ain't a baby, but him, he's into the graphics now, and he's wanting to do his little part of, well, are we having a board meeting? No. Well, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? And I'm like, dude, you're very into this. You're very involved.
Yes.
It's a good thing. But then he comes to this point where, well, I gave you that idea, right? That's where
so he wants to be paid.
Yes. He always is talking about his coins. But at the same token, I love it because that baby one, he's more of an entrepreneur of his own.
Yes.
And then the middle boy, he's going to college and he's majoring in business administration and minoring in finance.
Oh, nice.
And then the oldest, she graduated and she's doing her thing, plus still in the business with mommy.
Right.
So I love that.
Yeah.
When the godchildren come over, or at least when they did when they were real smaller, we kind of took that time and just spent it as a family.
Yeah.
And doing fun things and having fashion shows in the house, or we're cooking, or we're going to the park, and whatever the case. And then there's the spouse. He just, like you mentioned earlier, he's always telling me that you have so much potential in you, let it shine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm trying to do it. So he's very supportive.
Yes.
But he also realizes the closer and closer it gets to either an event coming or a new client coming on board, I'm going to put in a few more extra hours.
Right.
And then when I have that new client come on board, I'm putting in a few more hours. So he's going to handle more of the cooking and such of that nature. So it's a great give and take.
Good.
It didn't happen overnight, but now that we are where we are, I'm loving it. I can't ask for anything better.
That's awesome. Give and take is everything, especially in a marriage. It's always, amazing to have somebody to support you and to encourage you, and then be willing to pick up the slack when you need to. So you said you guys have been married 19 years?
Almost. It'll be 19 in July.
Okay. Okay. So, and you said that it hasn't always been that way.
Right.
What pivots did you guys do to get to the point to where you are now, where it's give and take and it feels like there's balance?
Us being us, and to know us is to love us. We are very comical in public and we cut up and we joke a lot, but that's just us because we do the same at home. Like we don't, okay, we're going out in public, we have to act our best. No, if I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you. I won't embarrass you, but I may not talk to you a whole lot. Right. I mean, we keep it very real, very 100. And it was just to a point where we had to sit down and have a very honest conversation. And a lot of words came out. Mm-hmm. A lot of feelings came out, and we just had to let it be known. You don't do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. Well, you don't do that either. But it's not about what I don't do. And we have to stop looking at how Amy and Jack live this perfect life, because that's not us. And we don't know what Amy and Jack went through to get to where they are. Just like Amy and Jack may see us as, oh, they have the greatest relationship. Honey, you have no idea what it took to get to where we are now. Right. I think, was it Mary, the God in Me? Mm-hmm. How she's on the floor praying and everything else. Yes. In that song. Look, many a days, many a nights, we got to do that. Right. But I think for us, it was really that conversation that has been brewing and brewing and brewing. Mm-hmm. And we finally had it, and it was no holds bar. We just had to have that conversation, bring up some stuff from back in the past that we didn't want to ever bring up again. Yeah. And just make it be real. Yeah. And that was it. But the beautiful part of what I love that we did not do is that we did not bring it back up since. it was truly like the second coming in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, because not everybody can do what we do, for us, it's worked.
Yeah. It sounds like it. And I mean, 19 years, that's a long time to grow with someone. Um, you
You
know,
see,
you
I have no hair now, so I had hair back then. He done made me pull all my hair out and everything. I mean, I ain't got no hair now.
but you're still cute, girl. You're still cute.
Thank you, thank you.
So I do like the conversation of marriage. I this year will be 4 years for me, and I'm
Yeah.
always looking to glean information from others around me. Just about marriage. So I always like to get into that and learn. From others who are doing it, who are living it, experiencing it, and just having that understanding about what marriage is, because again, it's a lifelong relationship,
Yes.
and I have to use my pillars, my connect, collaborate, and cultivate. Not only in my outside relationships, but with my relationships with my husband, because and my children, because sometimes we get so busy in what we're doing that we forget to make those connections. We forget to go back and collaborate. My husband was telling me about a dream that he had last night, and the whole gist of the dream was that I don't listen. I don't listen. And it was so funny because he's like, "Yeah, I kept trying to tell you to do this, and you just wouldn't listen." And so that's a deeper conversation that we're going to have, because I think that there's something there. You know, he's saying, he's communicating to me that, oh, you don't listen. And so I want to go back and have another conversation about that. So what did you mean by that? Do you really feel like that, or was that a dream? Because I know sometimes I can get in such a go mode to
Mhm.
where it's like, oh, I hear you, but no, we need to do this because I have a
Mhm.
vision for where I think we should go, but then that may come across as not listening. So I
Right.
always want to be conscious of, the little things that I hear and see, because I want our marriage to work. And I know that it takes work in order for us to do that.
Yes. Work. That's another
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, it is. But you said communication too, and I think that's really big. Is having the trust to be able to communicate early on. I think that's so important.
It is. It is. I think my husband and I started off as friends, which was really great. Um, and even when we started off as friends, we both were like, I don't know, neither one of us is the type to be with the other person and everything. But then we started being friends and we grew, and then we grew into lovers, and then we grew into marriage, or we got married, and then we continued to grow. And then we remind each other, well, you're not the same person I married. No, I grew. I've grown since then. I've grown in many ways. I've grown a little bit taller.
Yeah.
I've grown a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
I've grown a little bit older,
Yeah.
but at the same token, I think him and I both realized that we've also molded each other a little bit into what we want or we think we want,
Yes.
but you can't take away who I am and what I am. And
Right.
I'm an alpha female. I'm outspoken. Well, he's
Yeah.
an alpha male and he's outspoken. Well,
Right.
I'm an extrovert trapped in an introvert's body, and he's an extrovert all the way.
Right.
He's a very, very proud Texas born man, and I'm a very
Okay.
proud New York and loudmouth Sagittarian.
Okay.
So if you see us, it's like, oh my goodness, how do they make it work? And it's
Right.
like, because we can and we want to, and we have that communication and then that love. And then we've got these people that are looking at us that we birth that are like, okay, so they can argue and riffraff, but then they talk about it. And we may talk about
Mhm.
it and still not be cool for a few days.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you needed us, we're there. So
Right.
never get like one of the hashtags we use. I'm big on hashtags. One of the hashtags we use is still standing or Team Anderson. And
Yes.
though you have counted us out, we haven't counted each other out.
And that's all that matters. That's really all that matters. You spoke about being an alpha female in the relationship, or just period.
Mhm.
How have you been able to um, pull? It seems like it's really working in your marriage. How have you been able to level set and pull back when you need to, jump in when you need to, or do you do that within your relationship?
So sometimes, yes. For many years, that S word and I just did not get along.
Yeah,
That submissive word,
yeah,
it was like telling me to eat something that was raw, never cooked.
yes.
Submissiveness, what is that? And then over time, I feel, and if I would allow him in the room, he would disagree. But I think I've become a little bit submissive now. I do pay attention, I do listen, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm so stubborn and
Mm-hmm.
pig-headed that I'm always right. You're never right. I can never be wrong, type of thing. But then I had to be real with myself. Okay, I don't know it all.
Yeah,
I can't do it all. I
yeah,
do need help. I have to ask for help, which is one of the hardest things in life. But I've learned that, my alphaness is a beautiful thing,
yeah.
but it can also be some things that hurt me sometimes. So you've got to learn to, I don't want to say turn it down
Mm-hmm.
and then turn it back to.
Yeah,
And an alpha loving, be
yeah.
like, honey, he's always on the phone with his guy friends at like 9 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, time to watch TV, time to do a little us time, just
Right,
chill.
right.
And so he'll come in the room on the phone, blah da 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 da, yeah, da da da. Babe, you're in the room now. Can you get off the phone? Say, fool, I gotta go. She's doing that thing again. I'll give him a few more minutes. I'm like, sweetheart, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, I gotta go. Babe, if you don't get off that phone tonight now, okay, I gotta go. You just gotta turn it up here and there, turn it up a few notches.
Right. And being able to know when to turn it off and turn it on, or when to be the full person that you need to be, to get things done. I think that that's a gift, you know. There we had another guest on. She's a love coach.
Okay.
And one of the things that we talked about with her is that when you have dominant women who are bosses in their world, sometimes the male figures in our lives can be intimidated by that. And so that, because there is that, she has a whole industry of women that she can cater to, because there are so many bosses and so many things that she has to coach on to
Mhm.
be able to help these ladies to do exactly what we're talking about. Not downplaying yourself or not taking anything away from who you are, but having
Right.
the ability to balance it and use what you have when you
Mm.
need it.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that's excellent. Thank you for sharing that.
Of
I
course.
love the fact that your kids are involved in your business. I think that's the best thing that we can do as parents,
Mhm.
is show them, because sometimes verbalizing is not good enough.
Right.
We have to be an example to them. Now, whether they take heed right away, that's okay. That's okay.
True.
At least you've provided them with an example. So I really, really do commend you and your husband for, showing them how to get involved. And I love that your youngest is already involved at 14. That's amazing. And that's really, really good. So we're
Mhm.
heading into the last segment of the show, but I
Okay.
want to give you an opportunity to just share with us
Mm.
anything that you would love to share with us, whatever it is, whatever is on your heart and on your mind.
Oh, that's a loaded question. My heart and my mind. Oh my. Mm. I'm gonna keep it PG-13 now. Let's see. My heart and my mind. How about my stomach? Because I'm hungry.
It's early.
It is early and I did not eat yet. That's
You
okay.
are you a morning person?
I am, and I'm one of those. I'm one of those people that if I know we have to go out at night, I gotta take a nap now, just
Okay.
so I can stay up at night.
Okay.
but I haven't been out at night in so long. It's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Ooh, those are some beautiful hours. I'm going to sleep.
Yes, yes.
Other than that, outside of being hungry, my heart and my mind love those that are here with you. And not just because of COVID, just in general.
Mhm.
Love those that are here. If you can do nothing else than to send a text or pick up the phone and actually call them and say, hey, I was thinking about you, it could make a beautiful change in their life. It can take what was going on in their day as a rough day to a wonderful day.
That's right.
Be as authentic as you can to others and to yourself mostly, because if you have to hide behind what you think people want to see, then we're never really seeing the real you.
Amen.
And if you don't know who the real you is, spend some time alone, not on social media, not on the phone, not watching TV, just with yourself. Write down what it is that you think you like to do or that you want to try, and then go do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't always take a lot of money. It doesn't always take a lot of time, but it does take that initial step to go forward and be about yourself first.
Right.
I also want to say that if you are a female and you lack someone to communicate with and or feel connected with or want a tribe or anything of that nature, or even friendship, then look into a motivating love.
Mhm.
We are a support group for women. We're based in the Collin County, McKinney area, but we do have followers and members and people all over. And we're here for you as well, because unlike you can see with my shirt, you are not alone.
I love it.
And we have a friendship retreat coming up on June 4th.
Nice.
So we can help you with that, because even as adults and as women, sometimes we don't really understand what a friend is or who a friend is. And we've been so scarred because of what happened to us back in high school or elementary school or middle school, or even those 20 years, that we try to trust the wrong people, or we put too much trust in the right person to where we've been abused that way.
Yes.
And during this friendship retreat, we also have it to where we have our teen versions, because of the ages of 12 to 17, they're in the midst of that change and that molding stage now,
Yeah.
to where they need to know. And we have a program for them as well, and they're called Flames.
Okay.
And out of the fire does come flames.
Yeah.
We all started off as flames, and then we grew into this fire. Well,
Right.
join us then. More information can be found at amotivatinglove.org.
Okay.
Other than that, if you see me on the street, or if you ever need to reach out, feel free. My husband gets upset all the time because I'm always on my phone, but if someone's in need, I feel that I need to be there to help, because at the end of the day, a motivating love is always assisting you.
I love it. I'm getting all choked up here.
Oh, don't get choked.
Excuse me. I love that. I love what you talked about, friendship. And, as women, we need that. We need that camaraderie, that collaboration. And that I think it just really goes back to trust. Like you said, so many of us have been hurt by different things, different people that have occurred. And to have an outreach like that, I think that is awesome. How long has A Motivating Love been in existence?
2016.
Okay. And so you do an annual retreat with them?
We do an annual luncheon called Always Mother's Luncheon, and that's how we started.
Okay.
And then we changed the name of the organization to A Motivating Love in 2018. And so right now we have our friendship retreat. It'll be our first one. We can take 40 people total, so 20 on the flame side and 20 on the fire side.
Okay.
And then we're facilitated by this amazing woman. J. Javelle Credit, who is the CEO of Graceport.
Okay.
And she helps facilitate this friendship and what you need to be a friend, how to be a friend. And we have seasons and chapters for everything.
Yes.
And so with that continued partnership, we did Fire last year. Okay. And it was amazing. And there was so much that you learned about yourself as well as others that you think about or you've thought about and then you didn't know.
Yes.
And so now we're filling it, we're bringing it both together, the Fire and the Flames, and we're going to do a Friendship Day retreat. And then after that, the new season of the program will kick off as well.
I love it. It's, again, so many different hats, so many different things. Daphne, it has been a complete pleasure to speak with you today. I've loved learning about Always Assisting You, a motivating love. Also just chatting with you about, marriage and your family. This has been a really great conversation. I thank you so much for, taking the time to chat with me. Do share that information with me so that I can share about the retreat that's coming up in June. Would love to help you promote that and get that out.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So we are just about to wrap up. Do you have any final thoughts?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
And like the minute we get off, all these ideas are going to flood in my head. Like, why did you say that? Why did you say that?
Of course. But that's okay, because what you can do is we can check out the calendar and get you back on the schedule.
Ooh, yeah, I'm going to grow my hair out more for that one.
Okay. So tell our listeners and our viewers how they can get in contact with you.
Okay, so you can get in contact with me through Always Assisting the letter U.com. And it's purposely done that because of showing my individuality.
Okay.
And you can email to assist@alwaysassistingtheletter.u.com. If you're interested in the nonprofit version of me, you can go to amotivatinglove.org. And the email for that is support@amotivatinglove.org. We are both on Facebook and Instagram at the individual names. Other than that, that's 4, 5, 6 ways to find me.
Yeah,
and I'll answer, or one of us will answer.
Got it. I love it. I love it. Well, this has been Chit Chat with Char. And again, we've had the pleasure of speaking with Ms. Daphne Anderson with Always Assisting You and a Motivating Love. We thank you for your time today. Join us next week, 9 o'clock, same place, same channel. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been Chit Chat with Char, where our mission is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate. Thank you.